really trying. I just want to be part of this school. I'm really trying, but everybody makes fun of me. I feel stupid. What can I do?
You need to get your grade level up.
I hear that all the time. I have 5 C's and 1 D, and now they kicked me off the softball team. I don't understand. I'm a good student. I love Napa High School. I love it here. What can I do?
The school has rules, and in order for you to be able to participate in sports, you need to keep your grade level up.
I just don't know what to do. I'm a good softball player, and I want to contribute to my school. And I think I could be very beneficial to my school. Please give me another chance.
We can help you get your grade level up, but in order for you to participate, you have to do that. We cannot make an exception for you, because if we make one exception, there are other students out there. We have to have rules.
That's not fair. I give up.
I think you should think this over and go back to your classroom, and we can get together and have another discussion.
It's hopeless.
Hey, essay, this looks like a great wall to do.
Yeah, this is a great wall for tagging. Those Norteños will really know this is our turf.
They sure will. We'll show them where it's at. You know, my big brother would never be caught doing something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's into that college stuff, and all he talks about is getting a job with that law firm when he graduates.
Yeah, but didn't he do stuff like this when he was our age?
No, not really. When he was our age, he had this professor who put him in this peer support program, I think it's called, where students help students and they prepare themselves for the future.
You really admire your brother, don't you?
Yeah, he's all right. He kind of worries about me sometimes. He wishes that there was some sort of a peer support program for me to help me prepare more for my future. Plus, he says it might keep me out of trouble. I don't know what he's talking about.
Look. Please, come on.
Oh, let's go home.
Come on.
These skits give you just a glimpse of the wide spectrum of issues that we in the youth group faced and discussed over the last 8 months as we prepared for this project. And gangs is just one issue. Helping the student who's neither outstanding in the class nor a troublemaker were depicted by our skits, but we also talked about safety issues, jobs and preparation for life in the real world, family problems, home problems, sibling problems, those types of things we discussed. We also discussed various project ideas and how to address the problems and concerns that we as a group had. We talked about developing a mentoring program. We talked about a job shadowing program, forming a cultural dance or music club. We also talked about a safe house program, among others, throughout the course of our meetings. Some of these ideas didn't really address enough of our goals and objectives, and others seem to overlap with projects that are existing already. Then Harris Nussbaum came to one of our weekly meetings, and he spoke to us about his program at Vintage High School. It's called Peer Support, P.S. I Love You. Harris is here with some people who I'll let him introduce to you, and to fill you in on what unfortunately we felt was or is has been somewhat of a best kept secret, I guess, for Napa and Vintage High. Harris?
Thank you. I'm really impressed from being in the first class to see what's happened and the projects that have been adopted and have come to pass. So I'm really impressed, and I really commend all of you for what you're doing. I'm Harris Nussbaum. I teach at Vintage High School. I have a program that some of you have heard about and some of you haven't heard about. It's called, again, Peer Support, P.S. We Love You, or some call it psychology, community service, outreach, tutoring, whatever. So there's a lot of different aspects to the program. What the skits that you just saw the youth group perform actually is some of the things that we come in contact with. And I'm going to talk a little bit, and fortunately I have some students who have either been in the program or currently in it, and then Bev Evershoff, who is principal of one of the elementary schools. She will just talk a little bit about it as well. Probably you're still wondering about what is this thing, peer support, and what happens is obviously there isn't a lot of time, so I'm going to talk for a little bit, and then if there's still time I'll try to explain this diagram that's probably as confusing to you as it may be to me. Basically what happens is the program has grown. I started about 25 years ago in a class I had called Community Service Psychology, where I took students out to the state hospital, and we worked with patients at the hospital and in the classroom. And over the past 25 years, it's evolved and it's grown, and it's become much more complicated and much more diverse. One of the things I realized is there really isn't a program in the community that is not without its faults. Okay, and I'm not saying that this is absolutely the end-all program to end all programs. We have a lot of good programs in the community, but I honestly believe that I don't believe that there's a program in the community that can reach the students that this program can, for the cost and the numbers of students that this program really can reach. It's actually, in truth, I have in just my classes alone, there are about 250 students, and then I recruit other students. So I've got between 300 and 500 students who are working with probably a couple thousand people over the year, and so it's fairly diverse, and and I think it reaches a sizable number of people. And again, it's really not perfect. One of the weaknesses that I see for the program is that every student who comes to the program, I want to see make change. And so that, for me, despite some of the resistance that you get, if any of you are parents, which I'm sure you are, you realize that sometimes that becomes a problem in itself. But despite that, I have seen major changes for a lot of students over the years. And I think that I'm really pleased and proud of what's actually happened. Some of the strengths that I think that to the program has really been fortunate to attract some really top people. For instance, we're fortunate, like Dr. McCorkle from the Middle Research Institute, called Palo Alto Institute, comes and spends one day a week with us. And thanks to Dan Curcello, Joni Yako spends a day with us. And Dr. Bienenfeld, who is a parent, spends 2 days with us a week. And from foster care, Oscar Panizo spends one morning a week with us. And then there are some other people who come in. Then on the other side of it, I'm really fortunate that I've got some great volunteers that come. Jim Newman has come and helped us with retreats, and the Kiwanis drive students to the elementary schools. I can go on and on and on. I've just got, there's so many people who are really helping to make the program work. And the other side of it is I feel that the board and administration and teachers have been really supportive of what we've been doing. So, and without that, I think that we would be nowhere. That's been a really important part of it. One of the things I think is really significant is that I think we're underusing a resource that is so valuable. I think students can make changes. I think that elementary kids and middle school kids, who we have a lot of students who work with it at both levels, and they look to them as gods sometimes. It's just, and hopefully Bev will talk to that, so I better shut up. The students also, they've been recognized in a lot of different areas. For instance, I know some of you may know, like I spent a day in Sacramento with the governor and his wife, with one of my students that got the top award for the state for community service, and then a letter from the president, and actually two letters, two different presidents recognized my students. One 3 years in a row, the Golden Rule Award, and untold recognition for students as a result of some of the things. They've gotten into colleges, they've gotten scholarships, they've gotten a vast amount of things and gotten jobs as a result of some of the things that they're doing. I want to be quiet for a little bit because I have a problem of talking too much sometimes. And what I'll do is I will maybe even explain the diagram later if someone is so interested. And I'm going to start by asking the students to talk and Bev. And I'm going to start with this Katie White. Okay, and Katie was a student. How many years ago, Katie?
4 years.
4 years ago. And Katie even came back and helped me in the classroom and helped with run groups and do those kinds of things. And anyway, Katie, let's start with Katie.
Hello, as you said, I'm Katie White, and I graduated in '90 from Vintage, and I will be graduating in June from UC Davis. And the foundation of my success is due to this program. It helped me. I was the typical feisty athlete that went around with the biggest attitude in high school and didn't want to deal with anyone that was out of my group. And this program helped me acknowledge other people, other ethnicities, other cliques that developed in high school, and it made me a well-rounded person. And I went back and volunteered when I was at the JC to show those students that were in the program how important this program was to my success. And I plan on becoming a teacher, and I think that programs like this are so essential in a child's education. I know that without this program, I wouldn't have gone on to be a success.
Thanks, Katie. Next, Greg Alexander was also a student 4 years ago or several years ago, but Greg has also come back and helped us with the retreat and has worked with us. And so, Greg.
Ms. Nussbaum asked me to tell you what the program meant for me. And I can't say I went to college. I dropped out of high school during the program and graduated with my GED. But I went to work, and I can say so much about what the program did for me. But you can probably take home what the program did for you. I was out of control, an alcoholic. I never did drugs. My father left when I was 5, and I was full of rage. And I don't know how many of you had kids in school, but I was the same size in school. And it wasn't uncommon to find me without a gun or a knife. And I really didn't care about life. I didn't believe that I can love. I didn't believe that anyone can touch me or that I was capable of feeling compassion. Mr. Nussbaum had reached me, and the class had reached me talking to other kids and helping with their problems. I found therapy and returned some back to them. And I can't say how much it meant to me to go through the program. I wouldn't mean, especially seeing how society and the kids are acting today, what it mean for you to keep the program going. And I just, thank you.
Eileen is a student currently in the program. So Eileen, you want to come talk? Eileen has been involved, actually Katie and Eileen both are involved in two different parts of the program. And we have the outreach, we have the community service and the outreach, and she works with all levels of kids.
Hi, my name is Eileen Barrientos. I'm a senior at Vintage High School, and I've been in the program of peer support for 2 years now. And I want to say that peer support has really helped me a lot because probably my freshman and sophomore year, I was a really bad student. I got bad grades. My attendance was bad. I remember Mr. Sabalos over there. I went to one of his SARB meetings a while back, and he told me that he didn't want to see me there again because he didn't want me to be in trouble no more. And as you can see, I never went back. And this program has really helped me a lot. I mean, I have counseled a lot of students, and they say that the program helps them a lot. They really love this program. It's been beneficial to so many people that I've counseled. There's a couple of gangs at school, and it's really helped calm down the violence at school. I've counseled them, and they say that it really helps them out. I just feel that this program is very beneficial to everyone in the school. Everyone really respects this program, and especially me, because it really changed me. Thank you.
This would have been really hard, I think, for Eileen to get up here, and she's really, I'm really proud of her. She was even a candidate for Miss California Teen, so that was something that would have been really difficult. Okay, Bev, could you, I hope I'm not taking up too much time.
I bring notes because although I do pretty well talking to kids, something is real intimidating if you're over about this tall. I'm Bev Eppischoff, and I'm principal at Pueblo Vista School here in Napa. Our school has really a variety within this school. I have an alternative program. I have a regular program. I have 4 special day classes, and we also have a GAT lab on campus. We've used the kids from Harris's class over probably the last 5 to 6 years, I would guess. We've used them in a lot of different ways, and I want to tell you about a few of those ways. We've used them for supervision. We use them on the playground if they're there during part of our lunch hours. We've used them to run a very popular homework center, which is volunteer on the part of the kids after school. They know that they can go to the one classroom, and there will be at least 2 Vintage students, an aide, and 1 teacher who volunteers to stay in there as well to help kids with homework. A lot of our kids don't have a place to sit down and do homework. About 40% of my regular program kids go home to homes where only Spanish is spoken. It really makes it difficult to work on your reading, to write an essay in English if you really don't have any help at home. So they find that through the kids in the homework center. We've used students, one of them was my own son from Vintage who participated in the program, in our computer lab, where we've had students coming in after school recesses to work on computers to gain a little extra enrichment or for some remediation. It's amazing how much high school students know about computers. Far more than most adults, I fear. We've used them on the playground for simple things like refereeing basketball games and soccer games. No one knows more about soccer rules than a Vintage High School kid. I keep pointing out to the kids, my own children played soccer for over 20 years. I know 1 or 2 rules. But Mrs. Eppischoff, the kids from Vintage, they know more. You know, they really do. Our teachers use Vintage students continually. I'm sure that I don't think I've ever had to tell Harris, no, I can't place a student on my campus. My teachers beg for the students. They help us in our PE curriculum. As I said, you know, kids know it all. The last 2 years, I've been very privileged as a patrol director to use Vintage High School students who are also in the band to help me get our patrol ready to march and perform at the band review. Then it rained us out both years, but that's okay. We look good and we'll do a great show. Within the classrooms, we use them on a one-to-one tutoring basis. We use them to help kids who have been absent. You know, it's such a relief to teachers. They never have to catch kids up. The Vintage student comes in and say, here's what we've done, can you help this student? They take them and they work with them. The kids love it. It does not increase absenteeism, although I've sometimes wondered they really like getting the extra help. They also do a lot of just talking with kids. So many kids in the primary grades need help in language development or language acquisition. The Vintage kids are great that way. They sit down, they can talk. Now and then a child comes to school with problems they may not want to share with an adult, and they might share it with one of our Vintage kids. We use them in small groups. The new curriculums that we're looking at from the framework in mathematics and science involve a lot of hands-on, meaning-centered group activities. I taught for 20 years. I love group activities, but I also used to take a lot of Tylenol during the day when we did a lot of group activities. There's something about having an extra hand to help supervise and be sure that the groups maintain a focus. The ones I love walking into the primary classes and seeing the kids work with whole classes, with the teacher, doing a tandem bit. You see more art. You don't see many third grade teachers do finger painting without a Vintage student in the room. It just isn't done. They also dance with kids. We do a lot of movement or exploration in the primary grade. Vintage students do it, and even if as we move up in the grades and boys start to feel like, oh, I don't want to dance with the girls, if a Vintage student is present and says, come on, let's go, it immediately becomes okay to do. We have, as I said, 4 special day classes on my campus. 2 are learning handicapped and 2 are severely handicapped. When we first started bringing kids in for the severely handicapped class, I told Harris, I don't know. You know, those can be tough classes to work in. The students from Vintage who have joined those programs have just been delightful, and our kids have gained so much from them. Pushing wheelchairs, helping to feed, helping to readjust positioning of students, helping them to do simple things like sorting round pegs into round holes. I always wonder when I see a student come on if this kid will be able to handle that type of project. I've never yet seen one come to me and say, Mrs. E, I can't make it. They stick with it and they give of themselves in love and caring. Over and over again, our Vintage students provide my kids with role models. If one of the kids does something in sports, I was lucky, my daughter last weekend did something in sports. Monday morning, the class that she works in this year met me. 7:30 in the morning, I'm getting out of my car and saying, what are you doing here? And they're saying, Mrs. E, we saw Marnie's name in the paper. Wow, she was great. You know, those kids had as much success as she did. They really have come to know her, and her success was their success. I ask a lot of my teachers for input because, as I said, my daughter this year is active in Harris's group. I ask her too. And she said the thing I think I noticed most, Mom, is that the kids really like to talk to someone who's closer to their own age. They relate to me a little better, even though I'm your daughter. And that can be tough. My kids grow in self-esteem every time a Vintage student walks into the classroom. Vintage students are real special people. They choose to come to us. They come to help you and you and you. They choose to listen to you read, or they choose to help you with your math. The self-esteem that an elementary kid gets from the fact that one of those big kids notices me, I just don't think can be I don't think there's any kind of a value that could be placed on it. We at Pueblo Vista, and I'm sure many elementary schools that benefit from this program, view our vintage kids as an extra pair of wonderfully helping hands. As a parent, and I didn't tell Harris I was going to say this, I've had two very different children involved in this program. My son is not what you would call highly motivated, although he is now starting to figure out, you know, second year into college, that maybe there is something out there to learning. He worked in our computer lab after school with students. When he came in, he said, "Mom, I can't do this." I said, "Hey, I need help. You're in the program. I want you. You know how to work computers." To this day, at ripe old 20 years of age, he asks me about those students he helped. And they asked me about him. It was a real love affair. I have a very academically able student. Currently, my daughter is with us. And Marty, although I'll never get her to be a teacher, I don't think, has loved every moment of working with sports with the 5th grade that she assists in, helping them with science projects, telling them the great things that they can look forward to in education. And I think she, even if I really twisted her arm up behind her back, admits that she enjoyed working with the traffic patrol. I told her 4 years of band's got to count for something. My children have grown through this program. I have seen it firsthand as a parent. I've seen it firsthand as a teacher and an educator, and I love it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not sure we have enough time to, I was going to explain this thing a little bit, but I'd probably jump over it and just hopefully get an idea of that we do a variety of things. I was hoping that maybe you could ask some questions, but I think we're probably running out of time there too. So, but I really want to show my appreciation for the group and helping inflate a tire that needs inflating. Because, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's sometimes just say, oh. So thank you very much, and thank you to the group.
Well, you stole my inflating a tire line. I guess I can't use that anymore. But what we really liked about the peer support program is that it was for all kids, anybody who wanted to be involved, and it also it helped the kids involved, but it also helped the community with other schools, with businesses, the community outreach of the program. And those were goals that we as a group felt were extremely important to us. The problem is the program faces 3 obstacles: funding, what's going to happen to the program when Harris moves on to other ventures, and of course there's funding. And I think in the not too distant future we will be talking to many of you about that very issue. But again, rather than reinventing a wheel that Harris has shaped so well, as we've witnessed tonight and heard from people tonight, how well he has shaped things, we decided that the best project we could have would be to inflate the tire. And that's how we started what we're going to call the Napa Valley Foundation for Youth, a nonprofit organization that we will be incorporating very shortly. Our first goal is to help Harris with this program with funding, and also to develop its alumni resources so that Harris can focus on the actual everyday tasks and challenges that the program brings. Also, our goal is to expand the program from Vintage High School to all the high schools in Napa County, because we feel it is something that all high school kids should have an opportunity to participate in. On behalf of Diane Mitchell and Jeannie Dillon and Lupe Jessup and Katie Swanson, We want to thank Harris for his participation. We'd also like to thank Leon Garcia, who was our group advisor, and Dan Purcello, Judy Gray, Chief Dan Monez, John Salinger, and Dave Wood, whom we consulted throughout the development of this project. Thank you.